You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Hey, I'm Ray Parker. Played Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace and Solo, A Star Wars Story, and G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes, and you're listening to Disney Universe Podcast.
We would be honored if you would join us.
To infinity and beyond!
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing. That was all started by a mouse.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special bonus episode of the Disney Universe Podcast. This is Joey. I am here by myself, but that's okay. I am joined by two awesome guests from the new Mickey Mouse Club. Jennifer McGill returns, along with new friend of the show, also from the club, Tony Lucca. They join me. We talk about a little bit of time in the Mickey Mouse Club, along with a very special Christmas concert they got going on. Why? Because it's Christmas, taking place December 10th in Nashville. So we'll be talking to them shortly, and you'll hear what's been going on. So it's a show I'm really excited about. But before we get to my conversation with them, let's do a little mousekeeping here. As you know, we are now a part of the Walt's Apartment Podcast group and series of shows. We're happy to be here. So as you can tell, if you're new to the show, you like what we do, all our new shows and upcoming shows are on specifically and exclusively on the Walt's Apartment feed. If you want to go back to our first 140 something episodes, you can look that up anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast at the Disney Universe Podcast. Of course, we couldn't do the show without some very special friends. We like to call them our DU crew. That is our Patreon. We have two tiers. We have the adventure tier, which is our highest one. It's $5. And then we also have a pirate tier. Everybody gets a sticker. We're working on shirts, our Hatbox Goat shirt. If you joined us in our Summer of Live, we will be getting those out soon. But join the crew. It's a lot of fun. We got some great people, such as Superfan Jen, our good buddy Alfredo, Sasquatch, or you might know him as Efren, our good buddy Tyler, John, Sean Williams of Walt's Apartment Podcast, Monique, and a Florida Jen. We got two Jens, and we love them both. And our newest member, Dan, we call him Wedge Antilles. So if you want to join the crew, all you got to do is go to www.patreon.com/DU crew. And of course, we love interacting with everybody wherever we can. So be sure, once again, if you're new to the show, you could go over and follow us at Instagram, or on Instagram, Facebook, and X, and Threads. We're still on that. So that's going on. The reason we're doing a bonus episode is because it is a kickoff to Christmas, and we've got so many stuff coming up, and we just want to squeeze it in. We don't want to leave anybody out. So as I mentioned before, we are joined by two very special guests returning to the show, Jennifer McGill, and new to the show, Tony Lucca, both of the new Mickey Mouse Club. And I hope you guys really enjoy this conversation I had with both Jennifer and Tony, and here we go.
Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? MICKEYMOUSE. Hey there, hide the hole there, you're as welcome as can be. MICKEYMOUSE. Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. Forever let us hold our banner high. Come along and sing a song and join the jamboree. MICKEYMOUSE. Jennifer.
Mark.
All right, guys. So as promised, I am joined by two very special guests on this special bonus episode. Two members from the new Mickey Mouse Club, the show I grew up watching and loving, and part of the Always in the Club group on Instagram and all over social media. Returning to the show as a good friend. I always say that. Once you're on, you're always a good friend. Jennifer McGill, one of the OG Mickey Mouse Club members, and new to the show, and I'm hoping we could get him on now, more in the future, is Tony Lucca. How you guys doing?
Yeah, man. Doing so good, bro.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've seen how much I geeked out the 2 times I've had you. I ran into you and a bunch of the cat club members last year in Bakersfield.
Yes.
Which was seriously, no doubt, one of my highlights of the year, and even podcasting. You guys took me back to when I was in 5th grade, 6th grade, watching the show. Damn. And so I mean, Tony, I've had Jennifer on a few times, but I've been a fan, watched everything. Let me see if I got this is for our YouTube. This is me in 5th or 6th grade with my shirt.
Yeah, nice, dude.
Gosh,
that's a little old school. Yeah, so it does not fit anymore. So I will see what I can do on that.
Just make it into a pillow, man. Just make it into a pillow.
Or a headband. That's where I can get. But you guys got something coming up that I'm really excited for, and we'll get to that very shortly. But I just want to kind of, Jennifer, if you want to reintroduce yourself to our listeners, let us know what you've been up to, kind of some memories.
Sure. Well, I'm Jennifer McGill. I'm an OG from the pilot of the All New Mickey Mouse Club and all the way through the end, I guess. Yes, that's true. I don't guess, it's true. And I'm the co-host of a podcast called Club Rewind, where we are currently finishing up season 1 of reviewing season 1 of the All New Mickey Mouse Club, which means we're going to have Tony Lucca on in about 2 more years. Or so.
I'm just waiting,
I'm trying,
And, I'm glad I brought you guys in together.
And Tony's one of my best brothers. But yeah, I've just been singing forever and had a whole career of live show stuff for a long time. Became a vocal coach, all this great stuff. I'm currently in artist development. We've just renamed it PCG Artist Strategies, and I get to help artists all the time. And Tony and I sometimes cross paths in Nashville doing that, as well as just, family love and stuff. And so it's a really great season of just being able to give back to artistry. And I'm just really happy to be here.
Very cool. And like I said, welcoming to the show the first time is Tony. So glad to meet you. And, if you could give our listeners kind of like a little background on you.
Yeah, man. I was Mouseketeers season 4 through 7. So yeah, I was there the last 4 years of the show. And I was part of a cast, part of an influx to the cast where they really had things ironed out by the time we got there. It was all war stories before, hearing about how all the trouble the kids got in and all the trouble the producers got in for not looking after the kids the right way and taking care of them, and all the child labor laws and the school, requirements. And so by the time we got there, man, they knew how to keep an eye on us and they knew, which was good because we came in, having been able to kind of, whether we were watching the show as fans prior to, or certainly along the auditioning process, getting more and more familiar with the show. Once we got cast back in February or March, and then still had 4, 5, 6 weeks before we got to come down to Florida to get started working. So I was watching the show. I'm like, okay, making notes on so if we come out these doors, we're going to be able to be on this diner thing. And okay, I think I know how to do it. I could visualize the whole experience before I ever stepped foot on the stage, which these guys didn't have. They invented that approach. They were they were the ones that kind of came up with the whole spirit of the show. So it was definitely we tried to fall right in line and make things as seamless as we could. But it was great, it really was, because the timing of everyone age wise was just really cool, and we were all able to like really connect as quickly as possible and get to work, which was what we really wanted to do. But yeah, man, since the show, obviously when the show was canceled in '94, I pretty much immediately went out to California. Was out in LA for the better part of my career, getting my career started out there, and did some film and television before diving into the music thing in earnest, and started making records full time and touring the country full time. And strangely enough, found my wife and started a family along the way. And we decided to get out of LA after many years, and decided like, let's get to Nashville. That's where all the cool kids are going these days. That's where all the music's being made. Let's go.
Yeah, it seems like it. Definitely.
Yeah.
I got some friends that have gone out that way, and I've yet to get out to Nashville. I've been supposed to get out to like a convention out there that's always in the spring, but something always happens where I can't get out there. So hopefully soon. Definitely one of those cities I want to get to. And I mentioned to Jennifer, I think the first time I had her on, that like the original cast, like one thing, even as an adult, that takes me out of movies or shows are like child actors, young adult actors that aren't that good or over, and they were so natural to me. And even watching the clips on YouTube, I mean, to me, it still holds up. So I applaud Jennifer and Chase and everybody. And so you coming in as, in that they're already established and everything. Did you guys feel like extra pressure on having to live up to like a great cast?
I don't know if it was pressure. Yeah, like really no on the pressure thing at all. I think there were things that I think all of us, even kids that had been on the cast, we all had facets to the show's requirements that we weren't the best at. It didn't excel entirely at. But we knew that maybe when it comes time to sit down with a guitar and sing, I got that. I can do that. But you want me to dance with Jen? I've never really danced before. And sure enough, week one, they throw me in a music number with Jen, and I'm trying to like hold my own. And
it was Someday, right? Was it Someday with
Someday,
me as
sure.
like reading the
reading
the fortune tellers?
At that age, you're getting paid to pretend anyway. So I'm just like pretending that I can do this. I'm pretending that I've got this. No worries. But I watched some of those earlier tapes. I'm just, oh man, I wasn't quite ready for prime time yet, but they threw me out there. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Oh, very cool. So you guys do the show. It ends. Then as kids and teenagers do, we all grow up, and then years later, always in the club, shows up. Everybody reunites. I think, what was it? The D23, the 30th anniversary.
It was at Epcot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
MMC 30 was what we called the event, but yeah, it was that was quite something, man. And I think that's what like woke us all up to like, holy cow, we need to be doing more of this because this is cool. And clearly there was still an audience. There's still fans out there that want to see us get together and want to get together with us like we always did. That's what made the show so unique and cool, was that we were one of the only TV shows that like looked down the barrel of the camera and said, hey, welcome to the club, welcome to the show, and all at once we're in your living room, and it just became like this friendship thing. So
we treated them like club members. I mean, they were part of our family. They were part of the show. They were participants. They were absolutely part of the club. The 3 bullet points, like the 3 big highlights from MMC 30, I remember that clued me in on, oh wow, this is major. This is a major moment. Was the parade. One of the first things we did was they bust us into the Magic Kingdom for a parade. Now, I did some time at Disney after the Only Mickey Mouse Club. I got my equity card working as an a cappella artist at at Epcot Center, I guess, for the most part. But like, you know, everyone who lives there or has been there enough times, we know the parade route, we know what's going on. And to be in the middle of that and see everybody like waving and some of the people singing the song as we were, you know, our theme song as we were running down the road, it was really, really exciting. And then to see all of our family, like in the little grouped section, they're all teary eyed and, you know, waving their phones and, you know, capturing the moment. And the second thing was when I think I introduced one Mouseketeer to another for the first time, like Rocky to Nita, kind of thing, something like that, you know, and just being like, wow, I'm a mother hen for a moment. This is very, very different dynamic than what was on the show. And lastly was all of us just on that stage when we had thousands of people there looking at us and waving, and we're all putting our phones out and being like, look, we're here. Look at what we're doing. You know, it really did wake us back up to not only are we a family, and not only are we surely in a club for the rest of our lives, just because of the age range that we entered into it and just how that developed us, but we still have the club members at home showing up. We're still a big family. That was a huge, huge cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I was telling you previously that like I found out too late, but I think after the Epcot was the D23 where you guys had the after party at I think the Jazz Kitchen or something. Found out about it like 2 weeks before, and so it was already sold out. Which said, I mean, you guys, like you said, the fans are still there and they're really excited to see you guys. So I was so bummed I missed out on that. Then you guys again were at a group of the Mouseketeers were at D23 this past year. Had a special meet and greet and a panel. Again, something I wasn't able to get to, but when the group showed up in Bakersfield at MouseCon, I was like, okay, I'm definitely going there. This is what I've been wanting to get the guys to bring you guys over, and it finally happened. So, and you guys had the crowd the entire day. So, I mean, in a great panel, and still took the time to talk to me and stuff. So, like I said, that was such a big highlight. But yeah, the fans, I mean, you know, us grown-ups now, I mean, we're still like,
oh yeah,
you know, the loving.
Oh yeah, I loved sitting down with you at the table. Like we were just all around you, and just and you were probably just like,
yeah.
It was great. You were very cool, though. You were very cool. We took lots of pictures. You were very cool.
I was seriously. I mean, I've talked to some people, you know, doing this but I was literally like freaking out because I was like, told you I was 9 again. So, but yeah, that was super awesome. So,
well, that was the other thing that I remember about MMC 30 was strangely like the instinct to kind of all revert back to a different, you know, like our different roles within the family when we were kids, you know, and it was just funny how, you know, whether you call it muscle memory or whether we were just all wired for this experience to begin with, but like there were just so many moments along that weekend where we were, the same caliber as we were, you know, 20 some years prior. We were just able to get up and move and transition and go from this thing over here to like just sign an autograph here. Okay, now we got to go here. We got 20 minutes for snacks. Let's go. And it was just it was cool to be reminded of like what we're capable of and what got us here.
Oh no, absolutely. And before we get like to the main topic of conversation, one thing I wanted to bring up with you guys, kind of ask your opinion on. There's a I don't say it's controversial, but controversial phrase, something I wear proudly as a badge, and that's Disney adult. So, why is it controversial? I have no idea, but most of it is like, you know, like myself, I do a Disney podcast, I go to Disneyland, I like doing Disney stuff, and people do YouTube, but as members of the freaking Mickey Mouse Club, I mean, you guys are probably on the top echelon of Disney adults, and I mean, how do you guys think? I mean, I actually don't know how I'm kind of cool.
I think like if you've seen Lindsay Alley's one woman show, any version of it, any version, that embodies the Disney adult thing. And when she did it at MMC 30, it slayed because we were all Disney adults, you know, and we're all there, and you know, like it was just the target demographic for her material, and it was I mean, she had to, Disney even asked for her to like tone it down some because some of it gets really lewd, you know. And I think that's fantastic. I think when you like the kids are gone now, let's take a peek behind the curtain and like really see what's what's going on now.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree. I would say like we are all proud Disney adults at this point.
Yeah, I actually didn't know about the phrase. Does that mean that you're just a big, you're geeking out about Disney, but you're not a child anymore? Is that what it is?
I guess like there's like certain like TikTokers and stuff, you know, Disney adults considered like 35 and up, and some will say younger, but it's like, you know, hey, grow up, Peter Pan, you're an adult. Why do you and stuff like that, okay. You know, and so you like Disney, you don't. You know, you must be a little kid. I'm like, no, so MouseCon just a couple weeks ago in Concord, me and my co-host, we also do a craft beer podcast. I do too many podcasts. We hosted a Disney karaoke at a local brewery and wound up being their busiest night of karaoke of the year and stuff. So it's something we're quite into. So we like going to Disneyland and doing all that stuff, but we like our drinks. We're adults, but we just love Disney. So I always like to ask people's opinions on what they think.
I have a unique comment to this because very recently we lost a top fan of me, but also Mickey Mouse Club and ultimately Disney. His name is Josh Massey, and I attended his memorial service in Memphis, and every person who got up to talk about him, he was 42, 43. Every person who got up to talk about him talked about his love for Disney. And they had displays in the front of his collection of vintage pins. And that made him so happy. And when you think of it from that side of life, who should deny anyone the happiness that this world can bring, especially if it's Disney magic and that you can share it with your kids. I mean, I made a commemorative ring out of his vintage Mickey Mouse Club pin that I wear.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's with us in every Mickey Mouse Club event that I do, including interviews like this, because it's so important to honor that love, because it's what launched us into our next steps. It's certainly what held the hands of our fans on the other side of the television when they felt like they were alone, and then all of a sudden they saw like-minded kids and kids that look like them and dance moves that they could imitate and all of that. And we watch it with our children, with our friends, with our families. Like, why is there an age cap? There never should be that. And I think that Josh was an amazing example of that, how it lives on and how people talk about him afterwards. How can that be a bad thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. No, I'm glad you told that. So, and I agree the same thing, you know, like who are you to tell somebody they shouldn't like what makes them happy? So, and it could be Disney, it could be sports, it could be music, or all of the above. So but I always like to, and you know, ask people's opinions, since, you know, I'm at that age, you know, 45, and it's like, I wear that, like I said, I wear that badge with honor. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. So, like I said, I'm really excited because a few months ago, Jennifer, I think I saw it on your Instagram or always in the club, but plans for a very special Christmas concert coming up. And if you, the show is all yours. I want to hear everything. Who's going to be there? I guess Tony, you're running it, or you're the host, or what?
I mean, the de facto host, but by all means, I mean, as it goes down, it will feel as though it was being hosted by all of us. But I, being one of the 4 Nashvilleian of Mouseketeers, and you know, and a like Jen, a professional musician here, I've got a bit of a Rolodex of people that I could call on to come help us out, and so I kind of tapped myself to be the one to put together the band, and then thus like make myself sort of the music director. I'll be on stage playing through most of the show. It'd just be an easy fit for me to be up on the mic and introduce people on and off the stage and kind of like welcome people and make everyone feel nice and comfortable. But by all means, when everybody comes out to do their own song, they're gonna have their own time with the audience and host their own moments. But yeah, this was the culmination of a pretty like wild ride. We during the pandemic, we decided to, well, actually, I think it goes back to the MMC 30. We were all hanging out, talking about how much fun we'd have doing more projects together. And I think rumor has it that it was Tasha Danner who said to Dale or someone like, we should make a Christmas album. Imagine it was just all doing it. And we're like, yeah, great idea. So then when the pandemic happened, we were like, well, that would be a really cool thing if we could pull it off, So, so we got after it, starting in the summer, of course, you gotta start early on something like that. But we did. We had from coast to coast. We had, I think, 17 of us all ponied up a track, a song, and collaborated via the internet and Dropbox and whatnot, and made this pretty impressive record, at a time when I think everybody needed a little creative outlet, and the fans definitely were appreciative of it. But we also, it's a benefit project as well. And I think that was a cool adulting moment for all of us to be like, yeah, you know what, we could do this and make it a vanity project and look at us, hey, we still got it, or we could do what was always a really cool byproduct of what we did, and that is like shine light on others and be of service to others along the way, and we did, and this is our chance to finally put that record on its feet for people.
Yeah,
that was the cool thing, Tony. I mean, just to think about how we released this album, and we are all so just distracted with the world and isolation, and we just have all of this in our face, other things that we're focused on, but we get to release this album, and then it debuts at number 21 on Billboard, and we're like, what? Like, I'm sorry, I'm in my 40s and trapped in my home. What is happening out in the world? It was really amazing for that to happen. And it certainly was a labor of love. I got to peek into the mixing room a lot. I got to kind of, sort of be a fly on the wall for some stuff. I do love production. And it was great to sort of see the behind the scenes work that Tony was doing with the team. And really, it's exactly how it sounds as far as all of us trying to do this in isolation. You had one person in a studio here, you had someone else in a studio here, and all of the stems were getting funneled through Tony and the team to piece by piece put it all together. And I remember because we had what did we call ourselves, Tony? Like our group, I don't remember what we called ourselves. Like it was an you know what I mean? It was just a group of like we were isolating together so that we could be in each other's presence from time to time for certain moments. And I remember that the Jasons were in my recording session for my solo. It came upon the Midnight Clear, and the producer's like, do it again. And I'm like, wow. And he's like, that was fine, but I think you got a better one in you. And I'm like, okay, wow. And then like, they're just watching this whole thing go down. And like, I was there for the background vocals for their group number, right? Like, is all the titles are running out of my brain, but like what is it? We Three Kings. It's not that. It's the one. It's the big one. That
God rest you, married gentlemen.
Oh, God bless. Yeah. God bless you, married. No, God rest you, married gentlemen. And it was just so lively, just being able to see that production, and then just Tasha's song in the rough cut just hit me. Like I was just tears, and then just the bell tones of Rona, and it certainly was like I was going back to my childhood, and I was seeing these fantastic humans grown up in this vocal form, and knowing that we were all coming together for this album. It was a fantastic process for me to be able to peek in on.
Yeah. I think one of the cooler things about the show, the Mickey Mouse Club, that I think I don't want to speak on behalf of the fans, but I'm just because over the years we just saw a lot of love for the group numbers. At the end of each year, we'd always do a big group number, and everyone kind of take a turn singing a part of the verse or whatever, and then you get this big vocal ensemble to happen in the chorus, and we did we did Go Tell It on the Mountain on this record. It starts the whole record off, and it's like an old soul version of this, like an old, Staples sister kind of, like just really cool, and piano, organ, bass, and vocals. That's it. And to hear, like Jen mentioned, to hear all these familiar voices that God, I know what he's going to sing. I know what she's going to say. I know how she's going to do that right there, because that's just what we do. And it was just so cool to hear the consistency after 20 some years, like that, almost like signature sound of all of these particular voices together, what they do. And it gave me chills time and again during the production process to be like, God, this is so cool to be a part of. Like, wow, like this is what's up. And so, but as I've said, I think what made MMC 30 and the D23 thing really cool, and the party reunion and stuff, is like the record's great, and to hear us all together is one thing, but like to just be in the same room together, up on stage together, supporting each other in that live environment like we grew up doing. That's what I'm looking forward to the most with the why, because this Christmas live reunion show down here, that's going to be pretty. It's going to be hard to kind of contain my excitement that day, I think.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to hydrate, because I think a lot of us are gonna get misty eyed, and just being up there and singing background vocals for certain songs, and then of course the group number, and then like Tony has said, this is the first time that we've ever put this group of songs and all of us together, presenting them. It's been quote unquote all these years later. It's been a few years later, and to be able to sing, I have been a worship leader. I certainly have a worship leader's heart, and to get up there and just be able to unload this whole version of, It Came Upon the Midnight Clear, just all these, I don't know. I love all those big notes, as everybody knows. And to be able to just, flow through that with this group of family, as I call them, our fans, our family, to this group of loved ones in this room, and to be able to kind of share that after all this time, especially since I'm not out there, in a live show mode most of the time right now. Yeah, I'm just excited for rehearsal and getting up there and singing all the notes with everybody. I really am. I can't wait. It's something I've really missed doing.
Very cool. And sorry for our audio listeners, but this is specifically for our YouTube. If you haven't seen it yet, here's kind of like the lineup of what's going to be. Was it December
10th? Yeah, it's taking place at a pretty famous Nashville spot called Third and Lindsley. And it's a matinee show, so it's it's going to be from, I think, 12 to 2ish. We've got a fun little gathering lined up afterwards at Jackalope Brewery, which is a cool. If you're a brew guy and you do a craft beer thing, fun little fact: they were the first local Nashville brewery to can their beer and sell it at retail. So yeah, Jackalope is rad. They do good stuff. And Daddy's Dogs is going to be there slinging some gourmet hot dogs. And so it's for anyone like out of town to come and experience this thing. The show aside, it's going to be a pretty, what I like the word Nash-tastic. It's going to be like pretty Nashville centric experience. You're going to get to see some of the cooler, brands and icons and things. And I just think, it's Music City. So why should we not, capitalize on that and share our music here for fans? People are obviously coming in from across the country. It's fun to do a local show for a national audience, so marketing and promoting it has been, like, hey guys, as far, from, again, Go Tell It on the Mountain. Yeah. We're trying to promote this thing. So,
Very cool. And I can't remember, because skim through Instagram so much during the day. Is this also going to be live streamed, or was this just for ticket?
That's on the table, and we're waiting to see how those details might emerge. But I believe that's in the cards. We're waiting on the details. But yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it is.
We can neither confirm nor deny.
But get your tickets.
And as a fan, like I said, mentioned, hoping this also turns into something that, an annual Christmas concert or even an annual tour, around certain places.
Yeah.
Just seeing the reception, like you said, Jen, in Bakersfield at convention here, and I know there's been different convention circuits all over that members of the Mickey Mouse Club have been attending with big crowds and everything, and seeing everybody's comments. It seems the excitement's there, and I know we talked about in the past, but perfect time to re-release the show on Disney Plus or something, because YouTube's a little too faded on some of the.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I talk about that on Club Rewind. I talk about how, when we have a guest and we have to share the videos that we want them to review, they'll come in and they'll be like, well, I tried my best. And I'm like, do you remember that fun set of pink Converse she was wearing? And they're like, it was a little staticky.
Yeah.
Yes, we certainly crave a clearer version of our history. But, for all of those people out there who have their VHS tapes, certainly that's an investment, not just to DVD. You need to get them onto your clouds and your, all your digitals, because DVDs, I have learned the hard way, do not last forever. And some of my stuff's gone, y'all. So get it to digital. Yeah, get it to digital.
And I've been telling people not only the show on Disney Plus, but one thing that this isn't, obviously we're not sponsored by Disney Plus or anything, but another thing that they're really good at is trust me, is documentaries. They've been doing great with the parks and different things. I think an awesome documentary would even be like a 3-parter
or a docu-series.
A docu-series. You got the original Mouseketeers episode 1. You got the ones from the 70s. You got the 80s, 90s. Wasn't there another one that didn't last very long?
There was a Facebook platform version.
Yeah.
That had a season. It had a few episodes.
They did. It was called Club Mickey Mouse, though.
Yeah, something.
I don't know why they kind of switcherooed it up, but I was excited and a little nervous about that, because it looked like they did what ultimately was the death of our show. I think was when we started trying to pony up creative content. They were like, no, it was just like, no, this is not in your contract. And no, we own everything you come up with. And it was like, well, hang on a second. We just want to, rewrite the rap at the end of the show, come on. But it looked like they had found some super talented kids that were all like, emerging influencers.
Artists.
Yeah. Artists and influencers.
Emerging artists. That's right.
And I was like, well, this ought to be interesting to see. How cool would that be if, like, okay, finally they Disney realized, like, let kids steer this thing. Let the kids kind of, create and see what kind of potential, especially these days, man. It's like, well, every kid's a creator now. Shoot.
Yeah. Well, there's social media, there's digital now. So just the way that they can produce what they're doing, you had choreographers in the cast, you had songwriters in the cast, those that accompanied themselves on piano and all sorts of things. And so I did feel a little jelly, Tony, because I was like, look at all the things that they can do already and that they're allowed to do. They're making their own stuff. They have their own social media handles. This is a fantastic promotion. Like, I was super jelly, but they were exquisitely talented. I think, I think, though, in retrospect, did they do comedy skits? Like, we were just goobers on our show. I don't know if they got to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think that they think that's the thing about today's climate, is that you can't be too vulnerable out there, you know, because we had to demonstrate to them that the internet is forever.
Gotcha.
That's what they learned from us. It was like, I won't be getting caught dead in a teacup costume.
And I mean, it's no secret. I sometimes crack on young child actors these days, but putting that aside, there's definitely some very talented and I'm trying to think, inventive kids, like you said, with the way they do handle their social media. They handle them like Spielberg, and they're like 12.
Right.
I brought up MouseCon in Concord just a couple weeks ago. I mean, they're doing their own cosplay, makeup, and costumes. And there's a little girl. She won last year. She was the bride from the Haunted Mansion. Was the character all the time. This year she was. I don't know if you guys saw Elemental, but she was Ember. She's the little made out flame, and she did everything herself. Was brilliant, and I didn't know. I thought she had a bag of like a goldfish, but what it was Wade, the character, in a bag, and had two eyeballs floating around in the bag, like he was just water. And I'm like, this girl is amazing. So I'll crack on actors, but just the creativity and imagination, like something that would really take off, I think. Yeah, nowadays.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't feel like there's ever a world that shouldn't foster childhood creativity and the power to like conquer whatever you can and in your talents and your ambitions, you know, to go big. If you're young and motivated, go for it, because that's certainly there are those that want to see that example in the world that helps them be motivated as well. But I also think in the interest of how, you know, every child star I have met probably has a degree of feeling like we always have to be productive in the rest of our life every moment. I think there's also that space that we as the older people need to hold for children, that like, be a kid. Like, it's okay to be a kid. Not everything has to be lessons towards your career. Go swim or go paint something. I mean, not that those aren't career things, but you know what I mean? Like, you can diversify your portfolio as a child, people. Hold on one second. Alexa, stop. That's my timer that I'm basically, I got to go soon.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. Sometimes Alexa goes off
Alexa,
when I'm recording.
Stop.
Actually, to that point, when that Facebook version was happening, I remember, because it hit all of our radars. Everyone was like, "Did you see this? Did you see this?" We're like, "Hey, check this out." Matt Morris, who has kept a pretty low profile with all things Disney and a Mouse Club, and hey, it was a different experience for all of us, and to each their own, and the way they grow past things and move beyond. But he made a post on Facebook, I think, or Instagram. It was a nice long, like, open letter to the new cast members of this thing. And it was just that. It was like he had all this really incredible proverbial wisdom about this through this very specific, hey, I was once where you are lens, that was really touching. And, if not like, I don't say combative, but he was like, careful what you wish for sort of tone.
Right. Like, take care of yourself.
Yes.
I think there's a part of that, like, we as the older generation of child performers, we want to empower the younger generation, sure, to be better than we are, to grow bigger, but also take care of yourselves in a way that we weren't aware of. We needed to take care of ourselves. Like, be aware of, you are asked to be a professional at such a young age. Just guard your heart, take care of your insides, take care of your outsides. Don't beat up on yourself. We're mostly perfectionists, I suppose, at some point in the arts. And I think that's a lot of what I extracted from it. Let's say on the positive side, Tony, right? Like, I really did see a lot of that, just make sure that you know who you are, and that you guard that, and that that's where your power comes from.
Yeah.
And that's great advice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we wrap up, I once again, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me, making me feel like a friend, part of the club. And but
Good
before, absolutely. But before I let you guys go, you want to kind of let our listeners know where they can follow your guys' careers, your everything, all that good stuff on the socials?
Well, sure. Mine's, I suppose, shorter. So you can follow me at the Jennifer McGill. I have a website, so you can find all my socials there as well, jennifermcgill.com. And you can follow Club Rewind Official if you'd like to check in on what I'm doing there. And I am always going to be a fan of a fantastic artist strategies company called PCG Artist Strategies now. And that is the handle as well, PCG Artist Strategies. So go check them out if you have a youngin' that needs a little bit of guidance or a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm still at TonyLucca.com and Facebook / Tony Lucca. No longer on Twitter. Instagram at Lucca Does. And been rocking Patreon now for 10 years. So patreon.com. Patreon.com / Tony Lucca. You can come join the Moverb Lounge family. And got a live stream tomorrow night, actually. But more importantly, I would say for the topic du jour, go to mmcholidays.org to get all the ticket information you need for this big show coming up December 10th here in Nashville, Tennessee. Why? Because it's Christmas live reunion show. A dozen of us, me, Jen, and several of our friends are going to get together and put a really special show together for you. So do not miss it if you can help it.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and I wish you guys, the greatest success on it. And like I said, hopefully this something becomes an annual thing and start something. Hopefully, we also get to see some of y'all club members at this year's D23 or next year's D23 in August. And listeners, also check out Always in the Clubs. A special shout out to Kristen, who helped set this up, and we're in constant communication. And I'm glad she was able to lock you guys up. Tony, it was great meeting you. Jennifer, nice talking to you again.
Of course.
As you know, you guys always have an open door here, and hope to see you soon. And good luck with the Christmas show. Merry Christmas and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Joey. Appreciate it
so much.
All right, guys. So I hope you really enjoyed that conversation. Very cool having Jennifer on again. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, just being a fan growing up, and now that had her on the show 3 times, one in person, and of course then meeting Tony. Super cool dude, and cannot wait to hear about how the show went, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. So definitely check them out, give them a follow, and also follow if you have any questions or you want to know anything about the Mickey Mouse Club. Definitely check out All in the Club. That'll give you all your news and updates on any of the club members that participated in this awesome, groundbreaking show that appeared on the Disney Channel back in the 80s and 90s. And so I also want to give a shout out to Kristen of Always in the Club for setting that up, and can't wait to talk with more and have them back on sometime soon. So that is it for our bonus episode, our special bonus episode. So I hope you guys, like I said, really enjoyed it. It's now Christmas season. I hope you're in the mood. I am. We got some fun stuff coming up real soon, Christmas themed. I got a trip report. We got an awesome guest, and of course the clip show from MouseCon is out. So I hope you guys enjoy that. That's such a fun time. Again, can't wait to do that again. And so I want, just on behalf of Alex and Ryan and everybody at Wealth Department, I just want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys real soon. And I will end this on my own. But until next time, may the force be with you.